Kat, it's saying we've gone live. I'm looking as the last one we did. We had some challenges with LinkedIn.
Yeah.
It's saying on the screen that we're live. Fingers crossed, as they say. Morning, Kat. How are you?
Morning. I'm very well, thank you. How are you?
Oh, good. Oh, good. We're in. To say that we're in conference countdown, I suppose, is an understatement. The team, yourself, everybody, we're all in, exciting mode. But also, this is when it gets real. Less than 5 weeks now. 5 weeks yesterday, I think it was the conference. So we are all dead excited, but we've got a million things to do, and I think all of us are feeling the strain and the pressure. Not that we ever show it, Kat. We're all
No.
true professionals. But so what's been going on in the world of Kat? What have you been up to this week, Kat, and last week? Because we had a week off. So what's been going on?
Yeah, we had a nice week off. Not that we've missed our community last week, but yeah, for me, obviously, it's been trying to get the rest of the agenda sort of 100% finalised for our conference, starting to assemble the panels so the panelists know who they are now. This week was just about chasing down their speaker bios and getting their availability so we can have a bit of a prep call and introduce everybody to everybody. But yeah, it's been very conference heavy because, as you said, once September hits, all of a sudden, it just feels like there's not enough time. How about you? What you've been up to?
Similarly, to be honest, Kat, I think I went on holiday. I don't know if anybody knew, but I went on holiday. But it feels like an age away because we've just gone full into conference mode, and which is amazing. And I think and hope that each week, each day, we are announcing new things coming through. So clearly, we've got keynote speakers being announced each week. We announced both our Olympians who a while back now, Steve and Roger. I call them by their first names. They're pals of mine now.
Pals.
They're just such lovely guys. So let's be honest, they're going to be phenomenal. Steve Backley and Roger Black are just going to blow our socks off, literally. We announced, I believe, that we've got the one and only Brad Burton coming back, which every year, I mean, it's been a few years since he's done a keynote for us, but it's our 10th anniversary. So not having Brad in there somehow would be, a travesty, as they say. But we get a lot of pressure, don't we, Kat, from our audience and our community, saying, bring Brad back, put him on the stage. But then we get a lot of people who've never seen Brad. So, Brad, I know you're watching today. He told me he's going to look at the live today. If you're watching today, Brad, we can't wait. I know you've got a whole brand new set for us. You're going to be phenomenal. And then the third keynotes are myself and Mary Schaefer. So we're going to be live on stage around midday at Conference Cat. We're going to be answering questions. Sillily, we've agreed to do this. Kat's twisted up my arm and Mary's arm. We're going to be answering questions around 10 years that's gone by and 10 years for the future. We're joined on stage by two of our partners, Rossum and our headline sponsor, Bottomline. So they're going to be giving us their knowledge and expertise in all things payments, automation, AI. And Mary and I will do our very best to try and answer the questions. And I think our marketing team have asked myself, and you're aware of this, Kat, to give top 10 things that people don't know about Jamie Radford. Now, to keep myself out of jail and keep myself not divorced, I've got to be careful what I say. But that'll come out, I guess, over the next few weeks as well. So we've got loads of stuff going on. And again, on top of planning for conference, we've got to run a business. So we've got new members joining us. We've got, Costas has been out and about. He was at HomeServe yesterday, one of our customers yesterday, in sunny Birmingham, sort of North Birmingham. Hopefully, fingers crossed, he got back on time because you know what Costas's geography is like, Kat. It's not the best.
Oh, God.
But he's been out and about meeting our members. And, before we get into the top 10 today, we've just got to remind people that we are 90-ish, over 90% sold out for day and night. But we've still got a few spaces left for conference. So if you haven't already booked your ticket, please do so. I'll put a link on the page in a little while. If you're a member of ours and you've got your allocation, please try and get the allocation done this week. We are running out of tickets really quickly, which we always do, for both day and night. I know our team will be reaching out to you this week to finalise numbers. Cos, Paige, Kat, myself, all of our team, Rachel, will be reaching out, trying to get those final numbers out this week. We always try and close the doors, if you like, in terms of nominations for the awards of last week. So that's all finalised. Can't put them in now, I'm afraid. Kat and I are going to be literally see Kat's background in a darkened room, and I'm going to be darkened the room in a bit. We've got our judging panel busily going through all the shortlisting. We've got those going on. So yeah, loads and loads of conferencey stuff. If you're watching this live, and I can see a whole bunch of you are, give us a shout out. Tell us who you are, where you're from. We'll put you on the little ticker thing at the bottom. Kat, this week we're talking about 10 ways to be an AP champion. It sort of fits, doesn't it, with the old Olympian stage. Are any of these about jumping over hurdles and running 400 meters or throwing a javelin? Any of those on that list, Kat?
Metaphorically. There's always hurdles in AP. So metaphorically, yes.
This was the reason I employed you, because ultimately you always come up with these little analogies. That's a great way of looking at it. Metaphorically, we're all Olympians and we're all 400 meter hurdlists, And the javelin, let's be honest, I'm pretty sure we all got a target we'd want to throw a javelin at, but that's nothing there. So Kat, let's start. So we've been doing these 10 at 10 for some weeks now. And hopefully, people are listening or watching this back and having a bit of jolliness. And the idea of them is it's 10-year anniversary. This should remind everybody, 10th year. It's just phenomenal. We've got some mega stuff during our 10th year conference. And there's lots of stuff that we can't tell you, but there's lots of stuff we're going to announce on the day as well. And what we're trying to do as we lead into conference is give you the top 10 at 10. So this week, 10 ways to be an AP champion. Kat, we normally ping these between us. So I'm going to be the first. I'm going to ask you the first question, if that's okay, and stop talking. So, Kat, what's the very first one on the list in terms of how to be an AP champion?
So the first one we have on the list is to shout about the value of accounts payable. It's about being the advocate in your business. Show how your AP team drives efficiency, trust, and performance. We talk about my catisms, and if you were on my huddle yesterday, I think I had about 3 in a row, which I didn't intend, but that's what happens. And anyone who knew me before I became the head of education, and even during my role, I talk about thinking of your team as a brand. What do you want your brand to represent to your business, and how does your brand complement your organization, and constantly linking it, because that gets that sort of buy-in. But obviously our community, they are constantly shouting about the value of AP. We are incredibly fortunate for them. We've got some incredible champions amongst our midst. But yeah, just shout about the value of AP and just be passionate about what you do, and don't be shy, which I don't think we have a shy community, Jamie.
But you know what, Kat? And it's funny when we always get the speakers on for conference. I did the prelim, and you were on that call. Remember, with Roger and Steve Backley. And the question they always ask most speakers, they say, "What's the audience like? Is it like pulling teeth? Are we going to have to get in the audience and try?" And both Kat and I have said, "Trust us, they are very, very confident. They've got a voice. They want to express it. They're the most amazing community." And talking to 2 professional speakers, 2 Olympians, they were blown away with that, and they went, "We can't wait." I think they're looking forward to the conference more than we are. Just to meet this, we've really bigged up our community, as you know, Kat, but you're absolutely right. Shouting about the value of accounts payable is so important. During COVID, we know how difficult it was for everybody. Not only did we become more strategic, but it's down to you. It's down to your community. Go and shout the ways and the wherefores of the accounts payable industry. So I'll do the second one, if that's all right, Kat.
Awesome.
So, and it should be you really, but I'm going to pick this one up. The second one in the top ways to be an AP champion is never stop learning. Champions stay curious, whether it's new systems, new regulations, or new ways of working. And let's be honest, head of education, this is your forte. This is what you want everybody to be learning. But to coin a phrase that myself and Mary use all the time is, every day should be a learning day. If you're the leader, you're an analyst, you're brand new to AP, in any role within finance, every day you should learn something. The person who sits there thinks they know it all. They're the ones that ultimately will fail, because you should, no matter what role you do, what level you get to, every day should be a learning day. And Kat, as head of education, I'm pretty sure you're going to support this one.
Absolutely. Every day is a school day. That's the way. And, like you say, it's always about staying, like I think what you said in the beginning about staying curious. There's always something, even if it's a different type of accounts payable. So years ago, my then team teamed up with a legal AP team, and their AP was completely different to ours, completely differently structured. And even though it was a world we weren't going to be getting into, it was really valuable to kind of just learn what goes on in a different AP team. So I'll go into the next one. So number 3 is lean into technology. So automation, AI, data analytics, the tools don't replace you, they empower you. We're really fortunate to work with incredible sponsors, some of whom will be at our conference in a couple of weeks' time. Is it 5 or 6 weeks' time? Oh my God. And they are constantly sort of staying ahead of the curve and educating us on what's coming down the line. And even if, again, it kind of links nicely to number 2, never stop learning. Even if you've kind of got your automation in place, it's all about being curious and going and looking at different ones and just seeing what's out there.
Yeah, and Kat, honestly, you and I talked back, 10 years ago, the questions you were asking me a few weeks ago. I promise you, if I had a pound or a penny for every time somebody said, "Oh, we're all going to be out of a job soon because automation is going to take over," 30 years ago, when I started, or 30 plus years ago, we'll say, there was automation coming in at that day, new computers, desktops, dual screens, calculators. I'm not that old, but there was new technology coming down the road. With the AI, that's coming down faster. You and I know, Kat, AI is taking over. It really is, really, really quickly. But you've got to stay ahead. We use that analogy, don't have the ostrich effect. Don't bury your head in the sand. Go and learn, like Kat said. Every day is a learning day. Learn about the technologies, embrace it, and stay ahead. One thing technology can't do is replace you and I, Kat. Generally, I'm pretty sure everybody would want to replace me with a bit of tech, a computer, a robot that runs around. But as long as you're keeping up to date with the technology, you're embracing it and you're learning it, you'll always have a role in transactional finance. But embrace it. Really, really important. So number 4, Kat, it's keep controls tight but flexible. Fraud, compliance, and audits are real. Champions know how to balance strong governance with practicality. Now, again, let's be honest. Fraud's always on the agenda. It always will be. In the roles that we do, Kat, where we're governing payments, we're putting invoices on, we're dealing with lots of challenges, phone calls, emails, you name it, we're doing it. Controls are really, really important. And as Kat and I know, every time we go out to our community and we start teaching, the first thing we ask them is, have you got an accounts payable policy? Do you have processes? Do you have policies in place? Do you do regular training? So it's one thing keeping yourself up to date with policies and controls and watching the wonderful Kat while she's doing huddles and masterclasses, but you've got to have the controls in place. But the flexibility is that things change. So you've got to have, you've got to look at, review them, make sure you're up to date with your controls, make sure your team are aware, make sure that you're educating them. Look, we've got an amazing head of education on the call with us today. So if you struggle, reach out to Kat. Kat's, what Kat doesn't know about, not only fraud cases and fraud prevention, but also the controls element. We've got thousands and thousands of areas within our website and our portal that Kat can share with you. But it's having that flexibility. It's learning from the best, keeping involved in the community. But it's such an important topic. You've got to keep yourself up to date. Kat, what's your thoughts on? I know that you talk about fraud all of the time and controls, but it's never going to go off the agenda, let's be honest.
Well, I'm going to put a cheap plug in that yesterday my huddle was all about building an anti-fraud culture, and we talked about the new failure to prevent governance that came in 1st of September. So if you weren't there and you're a member of ours, it should be getting uploaded today. Go back and watch it and try and spot the Catisms as well through there. But we do talk about the importance of controls throughout it, as well as kind of the people element of like tone from the top and, creating an environment where it's safe to question and challenge. So yeah, cheap plug. I'll take a cheap plug where I can get one. Next, we'll move on to number 5, which is lead with collaboration. So procurement, finance, suppliers, AP champions are the bridge builders of the organization. Not only that, if you're a member of ours, an influencer, we have a vast community you can collaborate with. So again, if someone doesn't know an answer, there will be someone in our community who does. If you're going through something, maybe you're in a leadership position and you're struggling with something, there will be a leader in our community that can help you. But ideally, we've had a wonderful event with CICM this year, and I think we're going to hopefully continue that relationship and that kind of into 2026. Oh my goodness, where is the time going? But yeah, it's all about collaboration. And I used to love collaborating, and I still do. It's not just me in my darkened room. Like, I do actually genuinely enjoy when I get to collaborate with other departments. At conference, we'll be having a whole panel on the AP and procurement kind of collaboration. So that'll be one to watch. So again, if you haven't got tickets, get what you waiting for. It'll be a panel not to be missed. I'm looking forward to it.
And I think you're right, Kat. And I think, picking up on that panel that you pulled together, not only have we got accounts payable and procure to pay professionals, which we always do. All our panels are full to the brim of experts, but you've managed to coerce a procurement director to turn up and talk, and it's phenomenal. And so collaboration's the key. It is. We've collaborated with many other institutes. We collaborate with our partners, our sponsors, and we collaborate with members. And it's the only way you'll learn, the only way you'll grow is collaboration. So I'll go on to number 6, if that's all right, Kat. Champion fair and ethical payments. Now, I know this is one that we're going to continue to work with. I know that Liz Barkley has since which moved off and has been replaced, and we are working with the Small Business Commissioner and the Office of Small Business Commissioner Office. Paying suppliers on time isn't just a process. It's respect, partnership, and reputation. And what do we mean there? So, look, it's not just small businesses. Everybody expects to be paid for the goods or services they give. And the misconception that big businesses just don't pay small businesses because they don't have to, or they're big enough that they don't need to, it's total rubbish. You and I know, Kat, the challenges that we face in our industry is all about process, people, training, support, all the good things that come with the role that we do make it difficult for us to make payments on time. So we're always trying to push that. But the whole champion fair and ethical payment comes down to make sure you're driving that culture within your business. Make sure that up top of your priority as a leader within the AP space is that you want to do the job of making payments. That's it. So whether you're a small, medium, or a large enterprise business, we all should be paid on time. We all should be paid in a fair and ethical way. Yes, it does impact small businesses hugely. It's their lifeline, it's their wages, it's their mortgages. That's why these people chase the payments, and we need to educate them how to do stuff. But everybody deserve to be paid on time. So again, yes, it's all about, it can be small business related, but everybody should have that ethical approach to payments.
Brilliant.
Over to you, Kat.
Yeah. Number 7, be resilient in the face of change. So whether it's a system migration, a new policy, or a global disruption, AP champions adapt and keep moving forward. And we've touched on it a few times, when COVID, that thing COVID hit a couple of years ago, it was a really troubling time. AP functions that had never worked from home before, all of a sudden overnight had to work from home. But, our AP teams were still doing their jobs. We still managed it and turned it around, when everybody said we never could work from home. And I think, again, I'm going to champion our community in this one, that they all helped each other get through. It was great because again, I was a member of yours at the time. I would log on and join webinars. I believe you and Mary did a whole week of sort of webinars that I was very active in the comments. I think that's what kind of got me the bug to get involved. But yeah, and again, we talked about technology a bit earlier in the conversation, and just not being fearful of it and facing it kind of with an adaptive mindset, I think is the phrase.
Love it. And I can't add any comments to that, Kat. I think you've covered everything. But yeah, look, the resilience in the face of change. Change is something that happens in the AP world, transactional finance generally. Again, embrace it. Change is always going to happen. The more you push against change, the worse it becomes. Ultimately, embrace it. See what you can do in terms of adapting and the adaptability. We've used adaptability a couple of times in this session today. But yeah, in the face of change, be as resilient as you can. I'm going to go on to number 8, which is elevate the profession. This is something that's close to my heart, and I know yours, Kat. Mentor others, share your story, and show pride in accounts payable, procure to pay. That's how you inspire the next generation. The one thing that I hopefully have done personally over my 10 years of running the association and my 30 plus years in finance is always trying to mentor, trying to push, and also trying to elevate what we all know is an amazing profession in an industry, which is the accounts payable industry. But it's time for someone else to take that torch forward. And the people that do this are you. It's our industry, our community. So never be afraid, never sit in the corner and wonder whether you should say and shout out about how great accounts payable and procure to pay is. Trust me, I've been doing this 10 years. I'm so proud of what we've achieved in our community and the next 10 years and the next 10 years. But it takes us as a community to come together. So never stop trying to elevate the profession. It's one, I've got to be careful. I'm going to bite my tongue here on this one, Kat, because conference, I promise you, if you're coming along already, the news I've got to share with you will be phenomenal for everybody in the industry, the profession. If you're not coming, get your ticket because, it's you can see the big smile on my face. This is the time for me to elevate the profession to the next level. And that's all I can say before I get in big trouble, Kat. I'm not going to say anymore. There you go. So look, if you're not already down as a ticket, come along because I've got some big news for everybody in the profession. But keep elevating, keep shouting, and if you get pushback, come and shout, come and talk to me and Kat. We're on your side. I've got a broad set of shoulders. Kat's got that power of Catisms. We're on your side. So whenever you feel you need a bit of support, you reach out to Kat and I, and we're always there for you. Over to you, Kat.
Absolutely. And linking in quite nicely, number 9 is celebrate successes and survive the chaos. From big wins to small wins, champions take time to recognize progress and laugh through the tough days. And there's a lot of laughing, let's be honest, in AP. I was like, I think I used to say, like, it's AP, you've just got to laugh at the end of the day. But yeah, I mean, we obviously have a whole week in May, but it's about celebrating little things every week, every day. Interestingly, I'm going to throw back to my webinar yesterday. We talked about, like, in fraud, we always kind of shout when it's bad, when it goes wrong, but we never shout out when we prevent a fraud, when we actually use our instincts and prevent it. So it's just little things like that. And yeah, I mean, again, we've got our awards coming up where we'll obviously be celebrating on a larger scale, but again, it's about kind of having that consistency all of the time of celebrating throughout the year.
And you're right, Kat. Again, so the awards is a good example of celebrating success. That award ceremony and the gala dinner has grown dramatically over the last few years. And we're at a stage now where, let's be honest, the gala dinner feels up faster than the conference now. People are so eager to celebrate the successes of themselves, their teams, the industry. We're just blessed to be able to watch this and facilitate it. That's what we do. We're facilitating it. But yeah, don't think that you have to have had a brand new ERP system or re-engineer the entire accounts payable process. That's not what this is all about. Sometimes the smallest successes are the biggest wins, and it's the biggest operational things that you can give back to your teams. So please, one of the things I don't know about you, Kat, but when I go around and I meet all our members and I go to their offices, what's amazing to see is when, they may have won one of our awards and there's the trophy on the side, or there's a big board, a visual board of all the things they're doing and the successes, or they're celebrating a birthday. It's all the little things that sometimes mean an awful lot to our team. And when we're under the cosh, which we are as a profession all the time, celebrating every success is really, really important. So let me do the number 10, and then we'll talk a little bit about conference. That's okay. So lead with people at the heart. Oh my gosh, that's so important to you and I, Kat. Our industry, our community is all about people. Behind every process is a person, colleagues, suppliers, teammates, champions, but put relationships first. So what do we mean there? Michael Ryan. Michael Ryan's a big advocate of football, as everybody knows. Anybody knows who Michael Ryan is, he's going to be at conference. He's going to be our VIP guest. He was with us from day one as our MC. He's a big Manchester United fan, but his analogy works is that the great Alex Ferguson could never have been the manager he was, or he led Manchester United to some of the biggest successes in football history but because he had people around him, he had a team of people. He knew all of those people were better than him in football or whatever. He knew how to lead them. He knew how to get the best out of them. And let's be honest, if you lead in the world of AP, P2P, and any transactional role, as long as you put the people first, you'll always be super successful. And I know you and I, Kat, are big fans on that. So look, there's 10 at 10. Thank you for listening in for the 10 at 10. I thought that was a brilliant one, actually, Kat. I think it's one of our best
I enjoyed
ones.
that one.
Yeah, it was really good. And by the way, you'd think that, I get lots of time to myself and I'm putting these 10. This young lady on the screen has been putting these together behind the scenes. So, Kat, you're doing an amazing job. I know it's not easy to do these things. So, yes, I just sit in awe of all the work you've done. So, thank you for that.
Thank you.
So, Kat, look, let me pop on the screen as a reminder. This is all important. So, if you haven't already got your place at the conference, jump on this link below, apassociation.com/conference. So if you go on our website, choose the events tab, look at conference, go to the events tab itself and get your place. As always, Kat, you and I'm sure people are thinking we're just trying to drum up a few last tickets. It isn't. What we're trying to avoid is people missing out. We always get people in the last couple of weeks in the lead up to conference going, oh, is there any tickets left? I'm thinking about turning up for the first time. Oh my word. If you knew that we sell out weeks, months in advance, because we have such a big membership and a big membership allocation, we always have to be careful and mindful of trying to bring new people in so they can experience it. So look, again, Kat and I, we'd love to see as many new faces. It's our 10th anniversary. So we've got big plans. There's lots of things going on. It's a full house. One of the things, Kat, talk us through the whole process with our ambassadors and our influencers. So last year we had a bit of a networking, a speed networking. This year we're going to do not sort of an informal networking. So if you're new to the conference and you walk into that big arena, 300-400 people, whatever it will be, what can people expect and how will they get looked after?
Well, I think first and foremost they'll be greeted by our friendly staff at the front of the venue, where you'll be given your pass, which helps you just kind of get around. And obviously, if you're like me and you're useless with names, it helps, and you master the art of subtly looking at people's names while trying not to make it really obvious that that's what you're doing. Then hopefully you'll go into the room, and we have, as Jamie said, we have a plethora. I love that word, plethora of ambassadors and influencers, and they on the day are going to be around, and they'll probably, if they can see that you're looking a little bit unsure, they'll probably come up to you. Don't be me and run away, because I'm very unsociable. They are there to help, and they'll kind of guide you around our conference because they are seasoned professionals. They'll kind of show you around our exhibitor stands, of which if you go and visit them, you'll get some prizes. I think if you get a stamp on your card for every exhibitor you visit, at the end you might be able to win a prize at the end. I'm not going to say what it is because I don't know what it is. I could guess, but then I might be setting us up to fail. And then also they'll kind of just show you around where the stage is, where our secondary stage is for our breakout sessions. And again, these are members of our community, and they kind of exhibit the list we've just kind of gone through, let's face it. And yeah, they'll be there greeting you as an extension of Jamie and I, and they might even lead you up to Jamie and I if we're not having a breakdown somewhere at the side of the stage, trying to figure out what we're going to do for the next 6 hours.
And look, and Kat, as you know, I mean, things go right and wrong at the conference every year. So we, during these 10s and 10s, we've talked about some of the challenges, we'll call them challenges, we've had over the time and the years where things have gone a bit wrong, a bit awry. I did a shout out, I think it was last week, to Gareth Jones, who was one of our original members of the APA, who helped me sort of set things up, where he had his challenges technically, where he was, we'll say, effing and jeffing maybe, and got caught out on stage. But this is who we are, Kat. This is what we make up. So if you're new and you're coming along for the first time, there's lots of familiar, friendly faces around. You will, I promise, be looked after. You can always reach out to any of our AP team. They'll be wearing blue t-shirts with AP on them. Kat and I will be dotting around somewhere. Usually in the morning, I go and do my lives, walking around to get drum up a bit of interest, show everybody the fear of the FOMO, making sure everybody knows that we exist and that we've got all that stuff going on. But ultimately, the day is really important that you come along. It's all about education, learning lots and lots of stuff. It's all about networking. You're going to network with lots and lots of people. Hopefully, you'll meet lots of new friends. You'll learn loads, whether it's technology, whether it's panels, it's inspirational. There's lots on the day that you get. But the most important fun for us is fun. Have a bit of fun, really enjoy the day. It's like, I'm going to classify it like a wedding. Kat, I've been married 25 years. Mrs. R, she's put up with me for 25 years, 26 this year, actually.
Wow.
But if I think back 26 years ago, would I have done something different? No, I'd still chosen Rachel, or she'd have chosen me, let's put it that way. But what would I have done differently on the day? I'd have absorbed all the information. I'd have learned, I'd have spoken to a lot more people, because it's overwhelming. A conference can be the same as a wedding. There's so much goes on that by the end of the day, you are shattered, because there's so much to take in. But, when you come to a conference, just make sure you take some time for yourself, you enjoy it, you make lots of new acquaintances, friends, and reach out to us. Hopefully, when we go to sort of a room full of 400 odd people, it could be the first time we've met people face to face. We'd love to meet all of you. So come and grab us, even if there's people chatting away. Don't feel afraid. Barge out of the way, push them all out of the way. I don't know, but just it's really important we get to talk to you, and vice versa, because it's really important that we get together that once or twice a year in big event spaces. We can all sort of network. So, Kat, in terms of the awards, I think we're finalised now. So last week was the final of the awards themselves. So all the nominations have come in.
Yeah.
We can say this bit again, another record. Every year we're looking to break every record. More nominations than ever. This year we were very strict. It was members only that could nominate. But even though members only, we've still broken every record that's known to man or ladies. It's just ridiculous.
Yeah.
And when I say it's ridiculous, because it's phenomenal. Kat and I have to go through that with the judging panel about shortlisting. And in a few weeks' time, Kat, I believe we're going to go live. We're going to announce the shortlisted organizations and individuals. But I don't know about you, Kat, I was just blown away again by the phenomenal outburst of just awards that we've had this year.
Absolutely. We try to make it easier for ourselves this year, but again, the community just come out in force. And this is my darkened room for the afternoon, because that's what I'll be doing this afternoon, starting to attempt to read some of the fantastic nominations that we've received. But you can just tell already, just from sort of a glance, the amount of detail people have put in. So we really do appreciate it. Every single one gets read. So that's me and Jamie for the rest of the day now.
And Kat, listen, look, let's share a couple of the funny ones that we had, because we did have a laugh yesterday.
That could be a top 10 list in itself in a few weeks.
Oh my God. So as we're going through it, part of the awards part is you put your nomination in, whatever category, and then you have a section which is supporting information. So you put your nomination in, and then there's a section where you say, oh, is there anything you'd like to know about the person, whatever. And we're not going to say who this person is, but it was quite funny, because we had one person to put forward that says, my manager's the best person in the world because they turn a blind eye when we make lots of mistakes, which, we shouldn't be laughing, but it made us giggle, didn't it, Kat? And then the other one, we've had several of these as well. The reason why my manager should win, whatever it was, is because they've got 2 French bulldogs, and then wrote a list of just hilarious things, which, look, it caught our attention. I don't suggest for 1 second that you go through the hilarity bit, because, our judging panel are obviously truly professional. We have an independent judging panel, which we always use each year. But it made us giggle, because it's so many to go through for Kat and I to go through, and the judging panel. Sometimes these funny ones, they take us, and we did have a good laugh about some of them yesterday, Kat. It was funny.
Yeah. Was one that was someone's height and the hair color. That was another one.
Yes. So it's not that it's a dating profile, but yes, we got full blown. This is the person. This is their eye color, whatever. But you know what? It's each their own. If
It got our attention.
It did exactly get our attention, Kat. It brought a smile to our face. So look, so the awards are now in. They're in with the judges. The judging panel looking through those over the next few weeks. we will announce in a couple of weeks' time. We'll have a live Kat and I, where we'll announce the shortlist. We will announce the shortlisted organisation. We've had the most awards nominations in the history of the APA, which is brilliant. And again, sort of going back to one of Kat's points earlier, celebrating successes. Make sure that not only you celebrate your nomination, whether it's been shortlisted or not, but you celebrate others as well. Really important that we do that as an industry. Finally, for us today, Kat, obviously, not only have we got the conference coming up, we've got future thinking now. We've got the House of Lords coming up at the end of the year. I know that we're already in planning mode for that. Things don't stop for us because we've got one event and we've got another. So again, if you're an influencer, an ambassador, or a member of ours, and you'd like to come along maybe for the first time to the House of Lords, I think there's on our events page, there's a sort of, put your hand up to attend one of those events. Please make sure you do, because, post-conference, we straight into House of Lords. Kat's already got her agenda. She's already in that routine going into House of Lords and into next year, into 2026. Anything you can tell us about House of Lords, Kat, or is it all top secret?
It's all top secret at the minute. But yeah, all I can say is it's always a really fantastic event. People love the gift shop. The content's good too, but let's face it, it's all about the gift shop. And again, I will say this, I'm going to say it live on record. For the first time, I am going to visit the gift shop this year. It's going to happen. But yeah, it's a really fantastic event for me. And for me, it's where I get my roadmap for the 2026 curriculum. So again, really looking forward to it. And again, if you want to express your interest, that link should be on the website. But if you're not sure, you can reach out to me and I'll pop you on the wish list, because obviously it is a very exclusive event. We probably need to say that. We'd love to have everybody there, but we're a bit restricted.
We are. It's basically 100 people we can have in the room at the House of Lords, and it is a lovely venue. You'd think they just make a bigger room, but they don't. So each year we always struggle with the amount of people that want to come against and we try and balance that out to make sure everybody gets a fair chance. But the earlier you put your hands up, the better it will be. So if you can and you've got time, jump on the website, put your hands up for maybe the House of Lords if you're a member or an influencer or ambassador. The final bit for me, Kat, there we go. Yeah, look. The House of Lords wooden cooking spoons are iconic. There you go. So we can't see your LinkedIn username for some reason, your secret, but whoever that is, thank you for that. The gift shop is amazing. Finally, for me, I'll be sending out an email later today to all our ambassadors and influencers. Kat and I have got an important call with them next week. I will remind everybody who's an influencer, an ambassador, or a member, look, we've got allocation for you for conference. By next week, we will start to release those allocations to the waiting list of people that want to come to conference. So my reminder is, if you're watching this live or on replay, please make sure you've taken your ticket allocation. And remember, it's our 10th anniversary, so this one's going to be a bit special. So we hopefully will expect a full list of influencers and ambassadors and all our members. But I will reach out later today, so please expect an email from me. Anything else before we close out for today, Kat?
No, I think that's everything. Just, if you haven't got your tickets, please claim them. And if you've put your awards in, keep an eye out. And I think it's maybe about 2 weeks' time-ish. We'll be looking to release the shortlist so everyone can celebrate their success and celebrate each other.
Perfect. Thank you, Kat. I'm just going to say one last thing before we close today, Kat. You shared on LinkedIn last week something very personal. We won't go into detail of it, what your post was, but just to say on behalf of all of us, we're dead proud. Keep doing it. That's what I'll say on that. So well done, Kat. We're dead proud of you.
Thank you.
You're making a big impact in the world of AP on a personal level as well, Kat. So keep doing what you're doing.
Got me a
there you go.
little bracelet on, representing. There you go.
Yeah, we won't go into massive detail, but I'm dead proud of you, Kat. All right.
Yeah. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. And thank you for everyone who did comment. I am going to reply at some point.
Well, there was so many comments, Kat. You're going to you got to do some work as well. But I
know.
Yeah. For anybody that follows Kat, go and watch Kat's story. But you're an inspiration to us all. So keep doing what you're doing, Kat. That's all I can say. And I'm dead proud of you. All right.
Thank you.
Think Kat, you got loads of the links. Oh, here we go. They'll start flowing through now. Oh, there we go. The ones for Patsy's in there. Look, let's put you in there. Look. I'm trying to close off today. Look, I shouldn't have said anything so, but you're Kat. Honestly, you're a total inspiration. Right, we'll close it there, Kat. Thank you for today, everybody, for watching live. If you're on replay, make sure you follow and do all the things we've asked you to. And we will see you again 10 at 10 next week, Wednesday, 10 o'clock. Thanks all. Speak to you soon.